Sai Ram. Staying at Brindavan was a beautiful experience. In fact, the lovely mornings, particularly during the winter time, the fog and the beautiful stillness which was there in the air used to be very, very beautiful. And early in the morning, getting up for Suprabhatam and that serenity, the peace which was there was really beautiful to experience. As I was studying like this in Brindavan, one day I had to go home to perform my mother's ceremony. And it was at that time that my marks had come from the tests which were conducted. There had been some tests conducted monthly, and I had scored a perfect 0 out of 10 in all the maths papers. Somehow maths did not have a special place in my head. Although I was very fond of maths, I also became even more fonder later on when I conquered the fear of maths. It was at that time that when I went home, it was about the time my father was also about to retire from his service, and he looked at the scores in mathematics and was very upset. So I got a thorough scolding. He said, "You have still not become responsible. See, I am going to retire. I don't know what's going to happen to your academic pursuits." And it was with that feeling that I came back to Brindavan. And in Brindavan, there was a beautiful bower surrounding a Krishna statue. There was a beautiful bower. That Krishna is presently in the middle of Brindavan. But this was where we presently have the Shanti Vedika in the Sai Ramesh Hall. It was in that place. There were beautiful bushes, and this Krishna was standing there. And I went there to pour out my agony to Krishna. And that evening, during bhajan, someone had sung the bhajan, Krishna Murari, Bhavabhayahari, He Giridhari Gopal, Patti Vihari, Hridaya Vihari, Bhakta Saka Bhagawan. This was the song that one of the boys had sung. And this struck a chord in me and set me thinking. I asked myself, are these mere words? Are bhajans only repetitions of names, or do they have any deeper meaning for me in my life? If I call Krishna as Bhakta Saka, and if I fancy that I am a Bhakta, although it's not certified by him, if he is my friend, how is it that he is not helping me cross over this small puddle of mathematics when we have the Lord taking care of all our needs and saying that Dusthara Bhavasagara Taranam, I will take you across the ocean of samsara. And here was a very small puddle of mathematics which I was struggling to conquer. And if I had Krishna as my friend, as this song says, then it should be possible. And it was in that mood I spent quite a bit of time there. And I remember it was a beautiful Paurnami day. And that day night, Swami came in my dream and asked me about my studies. He said, have you ever got a scholarship? And I said, no, Swami, I have not got a scholarship. In fact, Swami was sitting in the dining hall on a swivel chair, and he was rotating towards me and towards the table. And then he asked, Have you ever got a university rank? Even in the dream, I'm amused because I think how far-fetched the idea itself is. Here I was battling with mathematics, which seemed to be such a formidable enemy, and maths being one of the three important subjects: maths, physics, chemistry. In fact, maths was there right in the beginning. I was not able to conquer this, and here was Swami telling me to asking me whether I had got a university rank. I said, "No, Swami." Then Swami looked into my eyes and said, "Why do you worry? You study. I will take care of everything." And so I got up with a start and I told myself, this is fantastic. Now Swami has told me that he'll take care of everything, and so my duty is exclusively to study. And so from that day, I started studying very hard. And my math score started improving. And as we are going like this, in fact, the next day, the day immediately after the dream, I was working in the physics lab. I remember it was a cantilever experiment we are doing. When the office assistant, there's one gentleman by name Sathya. I love to remember this gentleman. He worked till the age of 93. A upright person, upright in his physique also. He used to be very tall and very fatherly, very loving. Of course, even after he retired in Swami's college, he went outside and worked because he said, he was an ex-serviceman, and he said, I must earn my living because God has given me one stomach and two hands. That was his philosophy. This gentleman suddenly came and said, Ravikumar, the principal wants to meet you after the class. And I got a little scared because interviews with the principal, formal interviews like this, were not the norm. It was only if you had distinguished yourself with some mischief or something like that, that the principal would send for you and talk to you in his chambers. And with quite a trepidation, I went to the principal after I finished the experiment. Even as I entered his chambers, he suddenly asked me, Ravikumar, have you got a scholarship? Then I said, no sir, I have never got a scholarship. He gave me a form and said, fill it up and we will see about it. And so I filled up the form and I got a scholarship. This is one thing. So I was very thrilled because I said, okay, see, Swami has shown me that the dream is real. The first part has become a reality so soon. This happened within a week, has become a reality. And so now my focus should be fully on studies and let me see what happens. Let me do my part of it. And so I started studying, and I found that mathematics was such a beautiful subject. In fact, even now I have a lot of love for mathematics because the order, the symmetry, the discipline which mathematics teaches, and the accuracy. There is no vagueness about it. It is such an accurate subject, and the language of mathematics is very dear to me. So I started reading, and the month of March came. Exams were approaching, and in the month of April, actually, the exams started. And at that time, we were affiliated to the Bangalore University. And Bangalore University was a huge university. It was the biggest in Asia at that time. And therefore, in this university, they had a number of subjects. And so the examinations would be held, the dates would be very, very scattered. Sometimes it would be bunched, sometimes it would be scattered. For instance, all the subjects which I was to do had all the subjects which I was to write, except chemistry, they were all bunched together in the first 10 days of the exam. And I remember it was the 5th of April that I finished my physics exam, and the next exam was chemistry, and that was on the 19th of April. On the morning of 5th April, on the morning of 20th April, 19th April, Swami came in my dream and said, "You have spoiled your physics paper. Anta paad chesavu," he said. "You now need 30 marks." And then he said, "At least do your chemistry paper well." And he gave me Pad Namaskar. So that day morning, I went. I knew, of course, that I had spoiled the physics paper beyond repair. In spite of studying hard, the paper was a little slightly different type of paper I had not expected, and so could not complete it. And in the chemistry day, 19th of April, I did the paper quite well. And then our vacation began. On the 19th of May, we had the inauguration of the auditorium. This was also the inauguration of the summer course. That year, this was 1977. The summer course was on Ramayana. The first part of the summer course, the first week, was fully focused on Ramayana in various forms, in various places, the impact of Ramayana on the Southeast Asian nations, and so on. I remember the theme that year Swami had chosen as Ramayana. The evening discourses would all be on Ramayana. On the first day, that is on 19th May, Swami had just finished his inaugural discourse, and after accepting Aarti, Swami had left. And someone came running to me and said, "Hey Ravikumar, our maths teacher is searching for you." So I went in search of the maths teacher, and he told me, "Congratulations Ravikumar, you got a rank." And I was very happy, because I had never imagined that I could ever come in that league. And then in those days, Bangalore University, being such a huge university, used to declare 10 ranks, and all these ranks would be, the photographs would be put up on the newspapers. And I also got a phone call from my sister congratulating me, saying that she had seen my photograph in the newspaper. So this is what happened on that day. So I went very confidently to Swami and stood in front of Swami. Swami said, stood in front of Swami's room, and as Swami came out, Swami asked, "Emi Samacharam?" I said, "Swami, I want Pad Namaskar." Swami asked, "Why?" And I said, "Swami, I got a rank, university rank." "Which rank?" Swami said. Then I said, "Swami, 9th rank. Out of the 10 ranks, mine was 9th. Swami said, "Chi, that's not a rank at all. In my opinion, first rank is the only rank." And he moved away, but after going some distance, he called me and gave me namaskar. So that was the end, I thought. But few months later, I had written a paper on Kalidasa's concept of dharma for a competition. And Sanskrit lecturer was very keen I should write this, and so he had encouraged me to write. It was an intercollegiate competition, and I had secured the first prize in that. And so the Sanskrit lecturer told me that this was somewhere in the month of, I think, September or August, somewhere there. He told me that the MES college, which is there in Malleshwaram, there was one very great scholar, MPL Shastri. He was running the place. I was told that I could I would have to come to that place to receive the prize and present my paper to the audience. So when I told this to Swami, Swami said, yeah, you should go, and Swami blessed me. So I went to city to present the paper. My name was called. I went to the stage and presented the paper. And as I came and sat down, there was a student next to me from some other college. And he just got talking with me. He said, your paper was very good. I enjoyed it so much, and so on. And then I asked him about his name, and it turned out that he was the boy who had got the first rank. He was my batchmate, and he had got the first rank that year. And curiously, when I asked him his total, I found out that the gap between his mark and mine was exactly 30 marks. This is what Swami had said when he said that you need 30 more marks. And when he told me that, in my opinion, first rank is the only rank. So this is how, when you turn to the Bhakta Sakha, he always comes running to help you, as only a true friend can. We'll continue in the next session. Sai Ram.